If you are not an Afsa person practicing Muslim in Islam, you were killed. Especially if you are from the southern part of Kaduna, the tribes from the southern part of Kaduna, they were massacred. It was called the Zango Katafriot. And if the next thing they do is to burn churches, kill Christians, and then if they are done with that, then they focus on businesses that is for Igbo people, Igbo owned businesses, and they destroyed it. I grew up knowing that Christians are an endangered species in Nigeria. In the year 2000, when the Sharia riots, how many of you have heard of the Sharia riots? Hundreds of thousands of people were killed in Kaduna. I can remember vividly that we had to defend our house from people. They brought some Fulani boys and they faced our house. They were shooting arrows. They were stoning our zik. They spot our zik shooting arrows. Even though I was a Muslim then, even though my father was a Muslim then, but because majority of the people in our compound were Christians, so they were willing to destroy every one of us because we were living with Christians. I can remember a particular church in Mando, for those that know Mando, in Kaduna, called Chapel of Redemption. That church was destroyed. And so from that time, anytime there's a little hanky pack in Nigeria, the first target is churches and Christians. And this has prevailed for a long time. That even if there's a problem with in another country, the Muslim and the Hausas in Nigeria will rise up and begin to kill Christians. How many of you remember the Miss World crisis in 2002, 2001, 2002? That somebody threw a picture of Muhammad or something in France, long away in France, and they began to fight in Nigeria. Are you following me? Christians are endangered species. Now let me give you, and that's how it has continued. Scores have been killed, and they focus on regions where there is a mixture of both Christianity and Islam. If you look at states like Kaduna, states like Plateau State, states like Nasarawa, states like Taraba, states like Benue, states like Bauchi, states like Gombe, states like Borno. These are places where they focus on because they intend to eliminate every living Christian in that place. Anybody that debunks it is a total lie, because I have grown and lived in the north. I've spent 80 to 80% of my life in the north, so I understand this thing. Several times, I cannot forget the Sharia riot. We were running for our lives. Even though we're Muslims, but we're still running, because as far as you are not of that ethnic group practicing what they practice, you are a victim. You can be burnt alive. Many of us saw human beings that were burnt alive, like roasted like yam. And it has been going on for a long time. The genocide against the Christian faith. Are you with me? Many years ago, in Kano State, a man was beheaded. And anything they talk about, he said blasphemy. And guess who was the person that led it? The man called Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi, was the one that led him on. And they beheaded him, they killed him, man. They killed him and they put his hand on the stake and they were using it to parade the city. You understand of a woman also that is an evangelist. Evangelist Eunice that was preaching about 2016 or 18 in Abuja. And they killed her. We cannot talk about a young girl called Deborah Samuel that was killed. I schooled in Jos, and for years, the people of Plateau have been massacred. Riot breaking out every single time. The word that the moment anything happens, the next people that are victims are Christians. And it is unfortunate that all these years the government have not been able to do anything about it. But the agenda is deep. Are you with me this morning? Why am I saying? Because I don't want us to be an ignorant people. If we're ignorant people, they will control the narrative. And these days, let me tell you this truth. God will not come and fight for you. Remove that thing from your mind. If Christians don't rise up, pray from that to tomorrow. God is not coming to fight for you.
The genocide going on against Christians in Nigeria. I produced 5 of those magazines, each one 60 pages. So I have 300 pages of documented evidence of genocide in Nigeria against Christians. Magazines that show the pictures of survivors, pictures of victims, places that were destroyed, burnt churches, towns that were sacked, secondary school that all the students were evacuated from a Christian area in Tafawa Balewa in Bauchi State, and all the students were relocated to a Muslim-dominated area. We have all those things on record. So if anybody comes out today and say there is no genocide, I will tell the person to produce his or her own evidence that there was no genocide. And I will provide my own evidence that there was and there is still ongoing genocide against Christians in Nigeria.
Wow, man of God, this is serious what you're saying, because you said from your interactions in those areas, you found that there was a plan to wipe out Christianity in Africa. How can you wipe out millions of people? What strategy were they trying to use?
The same strategy that they are using right now. and so far it has served them well. You see, it's a combination of a lot of things. There is what is called the stealth jihad, and there is the violent jihad. The stealth jihad is referred to also as civilization jihad, working through institutions. Most of the institutions in Nigeria have been compromised to the extent that there is a mass exodus of Nigerian professionals in Europe, in America, in other parts of the world. It is part of the jihad to make the country inhabitable, to make the country uncomfortable for a particular set of people. If you look at the statistics of those who are leaving Nigeria now, most of them are Christians. They are being forced out. Those who cannot be forced out are being killed. They are being annihilated. And it is deliberate. I will mention a conference that was organized in Abuja in 1989, November 1989. There was a conference organized by Islam in Africa organization. At the end of that conference, they produced a communique. The communique is in the public domain. I have a copy of it, other people have copies of it, and one salient point in that communique, the Islamists say, and they wrote, I quote, to eradicate. They use the word eradicate in all its forms and ramifications all non-Muslim religions in member nations. Such nations shall include Christianity. In the original declaration, the word Christianity was underlined. So the Farmer is now bringing a counter-narrative that America is threatening Nigeria because of mineral resources. I will tell the person, did America organize that conference in 1989?
Wow.
Was it America that produced that communique that they want to eradicate Christianity in Nigeria in all its forms and ramifications, which means whatever is associated with Christianity in Nigeria will be wiped out? Whether it is a school, whether it is a business, whether it is a hospital, whatever it is, and whomsoever it may be that is Christian, was marked for annihilation.
Stand a chance to win bonuses on each transaction. Simply make a payment, spin the wheel.
This is one of the intelligent questions I have ever heard from a cleric, a Nigerian cleric, demanding an explanation, putting it to the president of Nigeria. Nigeria is a sovereign state. To start, give Nigerian government the rights for Christians to be killed. The fact that Nigeria is a sovereign state does not warrant the continued killings of Nigeria unabated. The fact that Nigeria is a sovereign state does that justify the killings of the indigenous communities, the killings of citizens of this country, which the government has an obligation, a duty to protect, to seek the welfare of the country and the citizenry. So what impression, what argument are they trying to project? What defense are they trying to put up? That Nigeria is a sovereign state that have failed in the primary essence of governance to protect life and property of the same Nigerians. So what makes them a sovereign state? So this question coming from the General Overseer of Assemblies of God Nigeria, is one of the most intelligent questions I should be expecting from the Nigerian cleric, from Nigerian Christian pastors, reverends, bishops. They kept mute while impunity reigns, while impunity is being enthroned, demanding that some are demanding that an extension of 100 days or whatever be given to the government of Nigeria to flush the terrorists. What have they been doing all this while? The fact that Nigeria is a sovereign state does not justify the killings, the murder of women and children, defenseless citizens, overrunning communities, killing people while they are asleep, invading their homes, slaughtering them, blowing their heads up, and the rest of them, including children, butchering them like animals. Does it justify that position? In fact, it is a clear indictment and insult that Nigeria, being a sovereign state, could not guarantee the safety and security of her citizens. We are 2 million plus 200 million people, like sheep without shepherds, without security, left at the level of vulnerability. God is for us all. If you're dull, let the devil text you. It doesn't matter. That is just what is playing out. A population of over 200 million that could not even boast of internal security. Nigeria state and her population are being consumed by the internal rifts and conspiracy that is going on. The government could not name or arrest such situation, even when there have been several reports that the name of these sponsors of terrorism are known. The United Arab Emirates and other foreign nationals has aided Nigeria in exposing this terror sponsor groups, yet no actions was taken. You arrest Boko Haram, the worst you can do is to reintegrate a terrorist into the security architecture, but Nigerian state never considered that as a misnomer. In fact, they endorse that, the integrating, moving the terrorists into the security architecture and changing their uniform to the Nigerian military camouflage, giving them license to kill, to invade, to sabotage the security, national security. And the reason why the military has not succeeded, because they have infidels, feeders within the military hierarchy and cycle, and those within the corridor of power, leaking the intel. Recall in 2014 or thereabout, when the United Nations sent their military and they mapped out modality on how to arrest and rescue the Chibok case. Eventually, it was leaked that the next time they came, they now saw the terrorists wearing masks, oxygen masks. I mean, wearing oxygen, which means somebody sabotaged the security details or secret discussions that went on within the Nigerian military and the American forces. And that eventually prompted them to leave, because there is a sabotage within the system, within the hierarchy of the government and the security experts. So such couldn't guarantee their operations again, and they were asked to move. That is just exactly what is happening. The fact that Nigeria is a sovereign state, in fact, should be an indictment and not an advantage. If your own children or population are being killed, these are not just a mere coincidence. A deliberate, conscious, systematic, and well-robust strategic annihilation of the Nigerian population, and yet some people are watching helplessly. They knew who they are according to an ex-Nigerian intelligence agency, military intelligence, a Yoruba man. He gave revelations that what these people are trying to do is to force Islamization on the entire regions of this country by every means possible. They want to turn Nigeria to Afghanistan. They want to turn Nigeria to Yemen. They want to turn Nigeria to those terror-ridden region of the world. That is just their mission, and they believe that could be carried out with remarkable ease within the country. Of course, the reason why you see different terror cells or terror groups, international terror groups, are establishing their base, consolidating and spreading their tentacles within the Nigerian state, predominantly in the north. Who is shielding them there? I listened to one of the northern, whatever he's called himself, an ex-military security expert, and the rest of them, telling Mr. Trump that should American military comes invade Nigeria or the northern region, they will meet their death, and the rest of them, they will all be killed. Mosquito will bite them and give them malaria that will kill them. You can imagine such level of sensibility. And when you study those surrounding him, there is an element of incriminating tendencies or terrorism staring at them, well boldly written in their faces. Honestly, that their appearance alone will tell you if you are a security expert and you have any clue of intelligence, security intelligence, the rest of them, you should know in the first instance that this particular set of people should be a prime suspect in arresting the set of insecurity. You see, because they have something to cover up for projecting such baseless argument and the rest of them. You claim you are a security expert and you have not solved the problem of insecurity if you are not involved. If you're not the one heading the state of insecurity, you should have provided to the entire northern governors. What are they doing? The traditional rulers and the Islamic clerics in the north, what are they doing? They do have security summit and the rest of them. And the people killing say they are killing in the name of Allah. They are serving Allah, Islamic jihadists. You've not heard any Christian group springing up, start killing Muslims in any part of the country. It has never been in the history. Now, why is it that Muslims, under whatever disguise, are killing Christians with intention and such level of criminality to annihilate? It is no longer in news. They have said it, and the actions are in line with the programs they roll out. On several occasions, you've seen them attacking military base facilities, cut away with the entire ammunition and the rest of them. And some people has insinuated that possibly it will be an arrangement once the Nigerians procure the ammunition and the rest of them, they will set up certain, scenarios and the rest of them for them to come and cut away with such weapons and falling in their hands. You know what that means. It's quite unfortunate. They are turning the same weapon against the population of this country, leaving families destroyed, economic and societal activities disrupted for endless times, because there are people who have been in internally displaced camps for more than a decade, some up to 19 years or more, and you begin to ask, when will they eventually return to their homes? Some of them, of most recent, cried out, we want to go back. The life we are living here is a life of slavery. How could we become fugitives in our supposed country? These are not foreigners. These are Nigerians, the indigenous communities, the Aborigines, sadly have been displaced, dislodged, and their own ancestral homes retaken, kind of forcefully by these assailants. Now, how do the governments solve this problem? Sadly, the government has appeared almost helpless. Communities after communities have been rounded up, killed, sacked, and reoccupied. And yet, you watch with such disdain the government's inability or lack of commitment and decisiveness to fight for the cause of justice for this helpless and defenseless population of this country. You're 200 million and yet could not guarantee the safety of Nigerians. And saying that basis your argument that Nigeria is a sovereign state that allows the citizens to be killed, or even the instruments of the state have been accused several occasions of aiding this terrorism. Look at what the former uh, chief of defense staff, the person of retired General Theophilus Danjuma said that the military collude with these bandits on several instances, and it will be pretty difficult to trust the Nigerian military to guarantee the safety and security of Nigerians. Why did he say so? Because those terrorists, Boko Haram and the rest of them, that was reintegrated into the military. How would you think they will fight one another? They won't fight. They will help to accomplish their already agenda that have been set up. So when they infiltrate the security cycle, they will compromise the security details and intelligence, share it with their brothers and the rest of them. You can't see them fighting against each other, because a country or a kingdom divided against itself shall fall. So they are never divided. It doesn't matter the fact that they are now on military camouflage, Nigerian military camouflage, or the galleys, and they are being given guns. Definitely they will turn it against the same citizens. They are meant to kill, destroy, and overrun. So that is exactly what is playing out, and we cannot continue to live in denial of that. Reality is staring at us. So the timely question, or the well-articulated question coming from the General Overseer of Assemblies of God Nigeria is very commendable. Tell us the fact you claim you are a sovereign state. Does it justify the killings, the ongoing killings of Christians?